Right. So today, we're going to be looking at
Okay.
how to make the most of the woman-owned small business certification when it comes to government contracts.
All right.
And we're going to be looking at a YouTube video from MarketUS,
Okay.
how to understand woman-owned small business WOSB benefits.
Benefits, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So consider this your cheat sheet
Okay.
to unlocking some serious advantages
I like that, yeah. That's a great way to put it.
in this space.
Yeah. I think this video is packed with a lot of good tactical advice.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to pull out some of the most valuable strategies for you.
Absolutely. So the video starts by throwing out a pretty impressive number. 5%
Wow.
of all government procurement dollars are mandated to go to WOSBs.
That's huge.
I mean, that's not just about leveling the playing field.
Yeah.
It's a whole new game altogether.
It is. When you think about it, it's billions of dollars being allocated specifically to women-owned businesses. And it gets even more interesting because it's not just a few select industries.
Right.
The video actually links to a list of the industries. And it's a lot. It's surprisingly extensive.
So the opportunity is massive and the reach is broad.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you wonder why more businesses aren't jumping on this.
Right.
But I imagine getting certified isn't exactly a walk in the park.
Well, you're right. There is a process.
Okay.
And the video highlights two paths, self-certification and government certification.
Okay.
Both are acceptable.
Okay.
But the speaker makes a strong case for going for the government certification route.
Now, I'm guessing that's because third-party validation holds more weight, especially when you're trying to win over
Oh, absolutely.
or a contracting officer.
It's like having a seal of approval
Right.
from a trusted authority.
Exactly, yeah.
And the video emphasizes that this can be a deciding factor when you're competing against other businesses.
Makes sense.
It shows that you're serious and that you've gone the extra mile to demonstrate legitimacy.
Yeah. Now, there's a section in the video that talks about a shift from NAICS to PSC codes. Sounds kind of technical, but I have a feeling this is something our listener needs to pay close attention to.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is technical.
Okay.
PSC codes, or procurement service codes, are essentially replacing NAICS codes.
Got it.
The video stresses the importance of adding the right PSC codes to your SAM registration.
Okay.
That's the system for award management. It's essentially your business's profile for the government.
So it's like using the right keywords to make sure your business pops up in the government's search results when they're looking for specific products or services.
That's a great way to think about it.
Okay.
It's about increasing your visibility to the right agencies. Without it, you're essentially invisible, even if you offer exactly what they need.
So we've got certification and we've got visibility.
Right.
But let's be realistic.
Okay.
Launching and scaling a business takes money. I imagine a lot of women entrepreneurs might feel a little bit intimidated by that financial hurdle.
Yeah.
So what does the video have to say about funding?
Well, this is where the video debunks a major myth.
Okay.
Many entrepreneurs assume that banks are their only option.
Right.
But the video reminds us that the SBA, the Small Business Administration, has a whole suite of loan and funding programs designed to support businesses, especially women-owned businesses.
Interesting. So the government isn't just setting aside contracts. They're actually creating avenues for businesses to get the capital they need to compete for those contracts.
Yeah.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
I know, right?
Are there any specific programs the video highlights?
It specifically points to the SBA 7A loan program as a game changer.
Right.
Under this program, the SBA actually guarantees 20% of the loan.
Wow.
Now, think about what that means for a lender. Their risk is drastically reduced, making them much more likely to approve loans to businesses that might otherwise struggle to secure funding.
That's a huge advantage, especially for businesses that might be considered higher risk, like startups.
Exactly.
So funding is only part of the equation.
Right.
Once you have the capital, you still need to actually secure those government contracts. What's the key to making that happen?
The video is very clear on this point.
Yeah.
You absolutely need a contract vehicle, GSA, VA,
Well,
or other agency-specific contracts.
Yeah.
These are your tickets to the game.
All right.
Open market procurement alone simply won't cut it.
So it's like trying to join a private club. You need more than just the entrance fee. You need an invitation. And it sounds like these contract vehicles are essentially the invitations to the government contracting world.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
And here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Unlike the private sector, where it's often a winner-take-all situation, many government contracts, especially those with GSA and VA, use a multiple award model.
Now that sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
Can you break that down for us?
Sure. In a multiple award scenario, several businesses can offer similar products or services under the same contract.
So it's not just about having the lowest price. It's about factors like value, customer service, and even geographic location come into play.
Exactly. And this can be a real advantage for smaller businesses that can offer specialized expertise or localized service.
Yeah, because they can really focus on those aspects and maybe not be able to compete on price.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so we've got a solid foundation now. Certification, visibility, funding, and contract vehicles. I'm sure our listener is eager to hear about the actual process of landing a government contract. So we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll dive into the strategic advice that the video offers on winning those contracts.
Sounds good.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so we'll be right back.
All right. Welcome back. We've laid out the groundwork. You know the advantages. You know the resources. Now let's get tactical and talk about how to actually win those government contracts.
Okay, because having the tools is one thing, but knowing how to use them effectively is what separates those who dream from those who do.
Exactly.
And I think this next section of the video is where it gets really interesting for anyone serious about making this work for their business.
Absolutely. And one of the first things that the video emphasizes is the importance of demonstrating past performance.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The government wants to know they're working with someone who can deliver, not just someone who talks a good game.
Right.
But what if you're a relatively new business? How do you showcase past performance when you haven't necessarily had a lot of government contracts under your belt?
Well, that's a great question. And it's something the video tackles head on. It argues that past performance doesn't have to be limited to government contracts specifically. Think about it. You might have years of experience as a sole proprietor, or maybe you held key roles in previous companies that involved managing projects that were relevant to the contract you're pursuing. Those are all valuable examples of past performance.
So it's about reframing your experience and connecting the dots for the contracting officer.
Exactly.
You might not have worked on a government project specifically, but you've managed budgets, you've overseen teams, you've delivered results, and those are all skills that translate across sectors.
Exactly. And the video goes a step further. It suggests that you quantify your successes whenever possible. Don't just say that you managed a project successfully. Say you brought it in under budget and ahead of schedule. Give concrete examples that demonstrate your ability to deliver tangible results.
It's almost like crafting a narrative.
A
story that showcases your capabilities and expertise in a way that resonates with the specific needs of the contract.
I think you've hit on something really important there. It's about storytelling. Contracting officers are bombarded with proposals. What makes yours stand out is the story you tell. The way you connect your experience to their specific needs and demonstrate that you understand what they're looking for.
Now, I'm sure our listener is nodding along thinking, okay, past performance, got it. But there's another hurdle the video addresses. And it's one that makes a lot of entrepreneurs cringe. Paperwork.
I was going to say, what is it?
The dreaded forms and regulations. It could feel like a maze designed to test your patience.
You're not wrong. Paperwork is definitely part of the process. But the video offers some practical advice on how to make it less overwhelming. It emphasizes the importance of organization, thoroughness, and attention to detail. Those might sound obvious, but when you're dealing with these complex forms and strict requirements, it's easy to get lost in the weeds.
I think a lot of us struggle with that. Especially when we're used to the fast-paced, agile world of running a business. Suddenly you're faced with this bureaucratic system that operates on its own timeline.
And that's why the video stresses the importance of leveraging the resources available to you. The SBA website, for example, is a treasure trove of information, guides, and even templates that can help you navigate that paperwork jungle.
It's like having a virtual assistant who's an expert in government forms and regulations.
Absolutely. And I love that the video reminds us that the SBA also offers counseling services and workshops specifically designed to help businesses with the contracting process.
It's a reminder that the government actually wants businesses to succeed in this arena.
They do.
They're invested in creating a more diverse and inclusive economy, and they're putting resources behind that commitment.
Yeah.
I'm starting to use a pattern here.
Yeah.
It's not just about knowing the rules. It's about tapping into the support system that's already in place.
Exactly.
And speaking of support, the video makes a point of highlighting the importance of building relationships.
Absolutely. Government contracting, just like any other business, is about relationships.
Right.
It's not enough to just submit proposals and hope for the best.
Right.
You need to actively engage with contracting officers, attend industry events, and build relationships with key decision makers.
So it's about being proactive.
Yeah.
Getting your name and your business out there and showing genuine interest in understanding the government's needs.
Exactly.
It's not just about what you can get, it's about how you can contribute.
And here's a really tactical tip from the video.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and talk to contracting officers directly.
Okay.
Ask questions, clarify requirements,
right?
And show that you're genuinely invested in understanding their needs.
Yeah, that personal touch can make all the difference.
It does.
It shows that you're not just a faceless company submitting a proposal.
Right.
You're a real person with a passion for your business and a commitment to serving the government's needs.
It's about building trust and credibility.
Right.
Remember, government contracting is a long game.
Yeah.
The more you engage, the more you build those relationships, the better positioned you'll be to win those contracts.
We've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We have.
From showcasing past performance and navigating paperwork to the crucial role of networking and relationship building.
It's all connected.
But we're not done yet.
Okay.
In part 3, we'll explore some of the potential challenges and pitfalls of government contracting.
Right.
And leave you with some thought-provoking questions to consider as you embark on this journey. So, we've talked about the advantages, the strategies, all the resources that are available. But let's be real, no deep dive would be complete without acknowledging some of the challenges.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And to the video's credit, it doesn't sugarcoat things.
Right.
It acknowledges that this can be a complex, sometimes even frustrating process.
Yeah.
Going in with realistic expectations is key.
So let's pull back the curtain a bit.
Right.
What are some of those potential pitfalls that our listener, who's probably already familiar with the entrepreneurial grind, should be aware of?
Yeah. Well, one of the first things the video points out is the sheer volume of competition.
Oh.
Remember that 5% set aside for WOSBs?
Yeah.
That's attracting a lot of businesses.
Right.
All vying for those same contracts.
Yeah.
You need to be prepared to stand out.
It's like applying to an Ivy League school.
Yeah.
Everyone's got great grades.
Yeah.
Everyone's got impressive extracurriculars.
Exactly.
You need to find that extra something that makes your application pop.
And just like with those college applications, crafting a compelling proposal is crucial.
Oh.
The video emphasizes the importance of not just meeting the requirements,
but exceeding them.
Okay.
Really understanding what the agency's looking for. Tailoring your proposal to address their needs specifically.
Right.
And presenting your information in a clear and concise manner.
Right, because nobody wants to wade through a dense jargon-filled document.
I don't think it's time for that.
It sounds like there's a real art to this.
Yeah.
A balance between showcasing your expertise, but also making sure your proposal is accessible and engaging to the people who are actually reviewing it.
Exactly.
Not just checking boxes, but actually telling a story that resonates.
Storytelling.
It always comes back to storytelling.
I know. I love it.
Now, competition and paperwork are hurdles most entrepreneurs are probably prepared for.
Yeah.
But there's another challenge the video brings up that might be a little less obvious. Especially for those used to the fast-paced world of private sector transactions.
Yeah.
Payment timelines.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah. The video highlights that, unlike in the private sector, where invoices are paid within 30 or 60 days, government payments can take a lot longer.
Okay.
We're talking potentially months.
That's a huge consideration for small businesses.
Absolutely.
Especially those operating on tight margins.
It is.
Cash flow is king.
Yes.
And delays in payments can really throw a wrench in your plans.
Yeah, the video stresses the importance of factoring this into your financial planning from the get-go.
Right.
Make sure you have enough working capital to cover those expenses while you're waiting for those payments to come through.
Right.
And don't be afraid to negotiate payment terms with the contracting officer up front.
It's all about managing expectations and making sure you're prepared for the realities of the system. Now, I know from our previous deep dives that government regulations are constantly evolving, right?
I agree.
Is there anything in this video that hints at upcoming changes or trends that our listeners should be aware of?
The video specifically mentions the shift from NAICS codes to PSC codes, something we touched on earlier. This is a significant change that all businesses, not just WOSBs, need to be aware of. It really reflects the government's increasing focus on acquiring specific products and services rather than relying on these broad industry classifications.
So it's even more important now for businesses to clearly articulate their niche capability and align them with the government's specific needs. It's not enough to just be in the right industry. You need to be able to pinpoint exactly how you can solve the government's problems.
I'm on the head.
And as with any government program, there's always the possibility of changes to regulations, right?
Of course.
For funding levels and priorities.
Absolutely.
So the video emphasizes the importance of staying informed, being adaptable, and treating this as an ongoing learning process.
It is.
It sounds like proactive engagement is key here.
Absolutely.
Subscribing to industry publications, attending conferences, networking with other businesses in your field.
It's all important.
Those are all ways to stay ahead of the curve.
Right.
And make sure you're not caught off guard by any unexpected changes.
Exactly. And remember, you're not alone in this.
Right.
The SBA and other organizations offer resources and support to help businesses navigate these complexities.
This has been a really insightful deep dive.
It has.
We've gone from understanding the advantages of the WOSB certification to uncovering the strategies that can make you a successful contender in the world of government contracts.
It's a journey.
We've even peeked behind the curtain at some of the potential challenges so you can go in with your eyes wide open.
Absolutely.
I think what's most important to remember is that this is a real opportunity.
It is.
The government's actively seeking out women-owned businesses.
They are.
They're setting aside billions of dollars.
And they're putting resources in place to support your success.
But it does require effort, preparation, and a willingness to learn and adapt.
It does, but it's worth it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listener with one final thought.
Okay.
Knowing what you now know about the opportunities and the resources available to WOSBs, what's your next move?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Are you ready to take the plunge and explore the world of government contracting?
It's exciting.
It is exciting. We'd love to hear your thoughts and continue the conversation on social media. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.
Love it.